Hi, I'm Minnie Stringer, and I'm the Librarian 1 here at the Rufus Lewis Library. And I want to welcome you to Check It Out, a program of what's new at your local library. I'm going to tell you about some new children books in the library. The children's section deals with easy books, both fiction and nonfiction. Either juvenile books is composed of both juvenile fiction and juvenile nonfiction. Juvenile biographies, story collection, mysteries, large prints, and reference. We do have some AR books, but the library does not have the computer program in which students can come in to take AR tests. I'm going to start out with our either section, Snow Dog by Susan Hill. It's based on the best-selling book by John Grogan. Molly the dog is often in trouble, but during the first snow of the season, he amazes his family with his good behavior. This book can be found in Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hempstead. Here's another one of my favorites, No Sleep for the Sheep. This is written by Karen Beaumont. It's about a sheep who wants nothing but to sleep. But as soon as he lays down to sleep on the farm, in the barn, each time he closes his eyes, another animal will move or bear to come in. This book can be found at Louder, Maine, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pit Lala, Pike Road, Pine Lever, and Hempstead. I'm going to show you one of the pictures in it. Are You Awake? By Sophie Blackhall. Now, in this story, a young boy wakes up his mother every time with so many questions. And every time she would answer, she would say, because it's nighttime. A very funny story. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pint Lala, Pine Lever, and Hempstead. Hero Cat by Elaine Spinelli. This book is based on a true story. In the story, this cat gives birth to a litter of 5 kittens in an abandoned building that catches on fire later on. While she's out searching and rushed back to the abandoned building, she has to go in and rescue all of her kittens. And by the time she gets the last one out, she's exhausted. It's based on a true story. In this story, she survived, but in real life, the mother dies. Louise the Big Cheese and the Back to School Smarty Pants by Elise Primavera. Louise the Big Cheese is determined to make the grades in school. She wanted to make A's this year, but she's stuck with a straight, mean teacher. A very comical story, and I want to show you a picture of Louise. Llama Llama, Red Pajama by Anna Dewey. At bedtime, a little llama worries after his mother puts him to bed and goes downstairs. Mama seems to be very busy, and he waits patiently for his mother to come up. But she does not come right away. So he frets, he wails, and finally he cries out. But Mama has to rush in the room. All he wanted was a hug. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pentlala, Pike Road, Pine Level, and Hampstead. I like this because picture tells it all. Perfect Square by Michael Hall. A perfect square that is perfectly happy is torn apart into many pieces, pinched, punched holes, crumbled, and otherwise changes, but finds in each transformation that it can be something new and just as happy. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pine Level, Pike Road, and Hampstead. I wanted to show you the ending picture. Charlie the Ranch Dog by Ree Drummond. While Charlie, a sheep basset hound, tells about the busy life he has on the ranch, but his friend Susan does most all the work. A very comical story. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pentlala, Pine Level, Pike Road, and Hampstead. Pig Kahuna by Jennifer Sattler. Fergus is afraid to go into the water, but he and his baby brother, Dink, finds a surfboard, and while collecting the treasures along the seashore, they wonder what to do with it. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Rosa Parks, Raymer, Pentlala, and Pine Level. I want to show you what they found out what to do with it. Now I'm going to show you some chapter books. And this is one that my We Children book club is reading for this month. I have a We Children club which is composed of kids from 6, 7 on up to 9. And we meet once a month. But they're actually reading Miss Mary is Scary. Miss Mary is Scary by Dan Gutman. While a British student teacher arrives, AJ and his friends wonder if her all-black clothing and her love of blood sausage mock her as a vampire. While Mr. Granite simply hopes that her musician boyfriend will stay away long enough for a math lesson. A very comical story. And I like the fact that it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. It can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hampstead. And these two are chapter books. Another one from that same series, Mr. Tony is Full of Baloney by Dan Gutman. The after-school kids care director wants to get into the Guinness Book of Records, and AJ and his gang jumps into helping him. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hempstead. I also include some juvenile nonfiction easy books. A Raindrop's Journey by Suzanne Slade. This book follows the journey of a raindrop through the water cycle, and it can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hempstead. And in the back of the book, it shows you the total diagram of the cycle of a raindrop. Maxed Out by Ginger Clark. This book explains the fact that dinosaurs aren't the only animals that roamed the earth during the prehistoric time. There were turtles that were measured over 13 feet and birds that weighed over 140 pounds. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hempstead. And I want to show you a picture of the giant turtle, which was bigger than a car. The next book, A Computer by Don McLean. This series gives comprehensive explanation about today's technology. It introduces the history and parts of a computer. It also gives an overview of the future of the computer along with other fun facts and photographs. This book can be found in Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, and Hempstead. And in the back it gives a timeline of the history of the computer. And the last one is called Bubble Floats and Bubble Pops. This book was written by Mark Weekland. What makes a bubble float? Are the bubbles in your soda the same as the bubble in your tub? What makes a bubble pop? Discover the wonders and the science of bubbles in this book. This book can be found at Maine, Louder, Lewis, Coliseum, Governor Square, Pike Road, and Hempstead. And these are just a few of the easy books found at your local public library.